Hello, friends. What if I told you that the secret to success isn't working harder, learning faster, or
Enjoy this
networking
low
more,
copyright
but something
sound
far
and
simpler
like, share, comment
and far
and
more
subscribe
powerful?
our YouTube channel for
Imagine
more effects.
living a life
Thanks for
where
watching.
every decision, every relationship, and every goal you pursue is guided by principles that actually work. In the next few
Enjoy
minutes,
this no
I'm
copyright
going to show you
sound
the 7
and like,
habits
share,
that
comment
have
and
transformed
subscribe our
millions of
YouTube channel
lives
for more
and can
effects.
transform
Thanks for
yours
watching.
too. Chapter 1. Be proactive, taking charge of your life. The journey to effectiveness begins with a choice. The choice to take
Enjoy
responsibility
this
for
no
your life.
copyright
Stephen
sound
Covey
and
calls
like,
this the
share,
first
comment
habit
and
of
subscribe
highly
our
effective
YouTube
people.
channel for more
Be
effects.
proactive.
Thanks for
At
watching.
its core, being proactive is about recognizing that your life doesn't just happen to you. It happens because of the choices you make every day. While many
Enjoy
people
this no
operate in a
copyright
reactive
sound
mode, blaming
and
circumstances,
like, share, comment
other
and
people,
subscribe our
or
YouTube
luck
channel
for their
for more
situation,
effects. Thanks
proactive
for
people
watching.
understand that their responses are entirely within their control. To understand the power of proactivity, it's essential to distinguish between
Enjoy
proactive
this no
and reactive
copyright
behavior.
sound and
Reactive
like, share, comment
people are
and
like
subscribe
leaves drifting in
our
a
YouTube
river.
channel for more
They let
effects.
emotions,
Thanks for
moods, or
watching.
external events dictate their responses. If someone criticizes them, they sulk or lash out. If the economy dips, they panic.
Enjoy this no
If traffic
copyright
is heavy,
sound
they curse
and
and
like,
get
share,
frustrated.
comment and subscribe
Their
our
lives are
YouTube
governed by
channel for more
conditions
effects.
outside their
Thanks for
control,
watching.
and they spend much of their energy reacting to situations they cannot change. Proactive people, on the other hand, act like the captain
Enjoy
of a
this
ship,
no copyright
steering
sound
deliberately
and
despite
like,
storms,
share, comment
currents,
and subscribe
or rough
our
waters.
YouTube channel for more
They don't
effects.
ignore
Thanks
challenges.
for watching.
Instead, they acknowledge reality while focusing their energy on what they can influence. This mindset is called the circle of influence. Covey
Enjoy
divides
this
life
no
into two
copyright
overlapping
sound
circles,
and like,
the
share,
circle of
comment
concern
and subscribe
and
our
the circle
YouTube
of
channel
influence.
for more effects.
The circle of
Thanks for
concern
watching.
contains everything you care about: global issues, the economy, other people's opinions, but over which you have little to no control. Spending
Enjoy this
time
no
obsessing over
copyright
this circle
sound
is
and
exhausting
like, share,
and
comment
unproductive.
and subscribe our
The circle
YouTube
of
channel for
influence,
more
however,
effects.
consists
Thanks
of
for
what you
watching.
can control: your thoughts, choices, habits, and responses. Highly effective people expand their circle of influence by focusing on
Enjoy
solutions,
this no
actions,
copyright
and
sound
attitudes
and
rather
like,
than
share,
problems
comment
beyond
and
their
subscribe
reach.
our YouTube
One
channel for
practical
more
way
effects.
to adopt
Thanks for
proactivity
watching.
is by taking conscious ownership of your language. Reactive language, phrases like "I can't," "if only," or "I have to,"
Enjoy this
reinforces
no
a sense of
copyright
helplessness.
sound and like, share,
Proactive language,
comment and
phrases
subscribe
like
our
"I
YouTube channel
choose,"
for more
"I will,"
effects.
or
Thanks
"I
for
prefer,"
watching.
reminds you that you are in charge. Words shape thought patterns, and thought patterns drive action. By shifting the words you
Enjoy
use,
this
you
no
begin to
copyright
reprogram
sound
how you respond
and
to
like,
challenges.
share, comment and subscribe
Proactivity
our
also
YouTube channel
requires
for more
self-awareness.
effects. Thanks for
You
watching.
must recognize the gap between stimulus and response, the space where choice resides. In that gap lies your freedom to act in alignment with your
Enjoy
values,
this no
rather than
copyright
merely
sound
reacting to
and
circumstances.
like, share, comment
For
and
example,
subscribe our
if a
YouTube
coworker
channel
is
for more
rude or
effects.
dismissive,
Thanks
a
for
reactive
watching.
response might be to retaliate in anger. A proactive response, however, is to pause, assess the situation, and respond in a way that
Enjoy
aligns
this
with
no
your principles,
copyright sound
perhaps calmly
and like,
addressing
share,
the
comment
behavior
and
or
subscribe
choosing
our
not to
YouTube channel
engage
for
in
more
conflict.
effects. Thanks
Another
for watching.
critical aspect of proactivity is initiative. Proactive people don't wait for opportunities, they create them. They anticipate challenges, set
Enjoy
goals,
this no
and take
copyright
action
sound
before
and
circumstances
like, share,
force them
comment
to
and
act.
subscribe our
This doesn't
YouTube
mean
channel for
ignoring
more
risks or
effects.
being
Thanks
reckless.
for watching.
It means acting deliberately rather than waiting passively for life to dictate the pace. Over time, this habit of initiative
Enjoy
compounds,
this no
producing
copyright
results that
sound
reactive behavior
and like,
rarely
share, comment
achieves.
and subscribe
Covey
our
emphasizes
YouTube channel
that
for
being
more
proactive
effects.
is
Thanks
not
for
about
watching.
suppressing emotions or denying life's difficulties. It's about choosing a response based on principles rather than impulses or pressures.
Enjoy this
Highly
no
effective
copyright
people respond
sound
from a place of
and like, share,
values,
comment,
integrity,
subscribe
and
our
long-term
YouTube channel for
perspective.
more effects.
They
Thanks
understand
for
that
watching.
external events may be uncontrollable, but their internal state, their character, focus, and choices remains their own. Proactivity,
Enjoy this
when
no
practiced
copyright
consistently,
sound
transforms
and like,
not
share,
only
comment,
your
and
effectiveness,
subscribe our
but
YouTube
also your
channel for more
relationships and
effects.
overall
Thanks for
well-being.
watching.
By choosing how to respond, you reduce stress, gain clarity, and influence others positively. People are naturally
Enjoy
drawn to
this
those
no
who exhibit
copyright
self-control,
sound and
initiative,
like, share, comment,
and calmness
subscribe
under
our
pressure.
YouTube channel for
In
more
essence,
effects.
being
Thanks for
proactive
watching.
is about claiming your freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of circumstances and the opinions of others, and using it to steer your life toward
Enjoy
meaningful
this no
goals.
copyright sound
In conclusion,
and like, share,
habit
comment,
1,
and
be
subscribe our
proactive,
YouTube channel
is the
for more
foundation
effects.
upon which
Thanks
all
for
other
watching.
habits are built. It shifts the focus from external blame to internal responsibility, from reaction to conscious action.
Enjoy this no
It's the
copyright
mindset that
sound
empowers you
and like,
to
share,
shape
comment,
your
and
life,
subscribe
expand
our
your
YouTube channel
influence,
for more effects.
and navigate
Thanks for
challenges with
watching.
purpose. As Covey puts it, I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. Every
Enjoy this
highly
no
effective
copyright
person,
sound
every
and
leader,
like, share, comment,
and every
subscribe
fulfilled
our YouTube
individual
channel for more
begins here.
effects. Thanks
By
for
taking
watching.
ownership, exercising choice, and acting proactively in alignment with what truly matters. Chapter 2. Begin with the end in mind. Designing
Enjoy
your
this
life
no
with purpose.
copyright sound
Imagine
and
setting out
like,
on a
share,
journey
comment,
without
and
knowing your
subscribe our
destination.
YouTube channel
You
for
wander,
more effects.
taking detours,
Thanks for watching.
sometimes backtracking, and often wondering why you feel lost or unsatisfied. This is how many people live their lives, reacting to circumstances
Enjoy
without a
this
clear
no
vision of
copyright
where they
sound
truly want to
and
go.
like, share, comment,
Habit 2.
and subscribe
Begin
our
with the
YouTube
end in
channel
mind
for more
is about
effects.
creating a
Thanks for
personal
watching.
blueprint. Knowing your destination before taking the first step. Stephen Covey calls this the habit of vision and purpose, the ability to see the bigger picture
Enjoy this
and
no
lead your life
copyright
intentionally,
sound and
rather
like,
than
share,
leaving it to
comment, and
chance.
subscribe
At its
our
core,
YouTube channel
this
for
habit
more
asks
effects.
a simple
Thanks for
yet
watching.
profound question. If I were to look back on my life someday, what would I want to see? It's about defining your life goals, core values,
Enjoy this
and
no
principles
copyright
before
sound
you get caught
and
up in
like,
the
share,
whirlwind
comment,
of
and
day-to-day
subscribe our
tasks.
YouTube channel for more
Covey
effects.
emphasizes that
Thanks for
effective
watching.
people live their lives according to principles, not moods or circumstances. Principles such as honesty, integrity, and
Enjoy
respect
this no
serve as a
copyright
compass,
sound and
guiding
like,
decisions
share, comment, and
even when
subscribe
emotions,
our YouTube channel
stress,
for more
or
effects.
social pressure
Thanks for watching.
threaten to pull you off course. One of the most powerful tools for this habit is creating a personal mission statement. Just as a company has
Enjoy
a
this
mission
no
to define its
copyright
purpose
sound
and direction,
and like, share,
individuals
comment,
can
and
benefit
subscribe
from
our
articulating
YouTube
their
channel for
core
more
principles,
effects. Thanks
roles,
for watching.
and long-term goals. A mission statement answers fundamental questions. Who am I? What do I stand for? What do I want to contribute?
Enjoy this no
By
copyright
clarifying
sound
these, gain a
and like,
framework
share,
for
comment,
making
and
choices
subscribe our
that
YouTube
align
channel
with your
for more
deepest
effects.
values.
Thanks for watching.
It's not a rigid contract, but a living guide that keeps you focused when distractions or challenges arise. Covey also emphasizes
Enjoy this
visualization
no
as a
copyright
technique to
sound
strengthen this
and
habit.
like, share, comment,
Highly
and
effective
subscribe
people
our YouTube
imagine
channel
their
for more
desired
effects.
outcomes vividly,
Thanks for watching.
almost as if they have already been achieved. Visualization helps clarify priorities, motivates action, and builds confidence.
Enjoy this
Athletes,
no copyright
artists, and
sound
leaders often
and
use
like,
this
share, comment,
technique.
and subscribe
They see the
our
goal
YouTube
clearly
channel for
in their
more
mind
effects.
before their
Thanks for
hands or
watching.
feet execute the action. Similarly, when you define your life's vision, you set the stage for intentional decisions in every aspect:
Enjoy
career,
this no copyright
relationships,
sound
health, and
like,
personal
share,
growth.
comment, and subscribe
Another
our
aspect of
YouTube channel
beginning
for
with the
more
end in
effects.
mind is the
Thanks for
ability
watching.
to align daily actions with long-term objectives. Without a clear destination, Even productive people can expend enormous effort in
Enjoy
directions
this
that
no
ultimately
copyright
don't matter.
sound and like,
Covey
share, comment, and
distinguishes between
subscribe our
efficiency
YouTube channel
and
for more
effectiveness.
effects. Thanks for
Efficiency
watching.
is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. The right things are determined by your personal vision and goals.
Enjoy this
This
no
alignment
copyright
transforms
sound
everyday
and like, share,
tasks
comment,
from
and
mundane
subscribe our
chores
YouTube
into
channel for more
purposeful
effects.
steps toward
Thanks
your
for
life's
watching.
mission. Habit 2 also emphasizes the importance of roles. Each person plays multiple roles: parent, partner,
Enjoy
professional,
this no
friend,
copyright
community
sound
member,
and like,
and
share,
each
comment,
role
and
carries
subscribe our YouTube
responsibilities
channel
and
for more
opportunities.
effects. Thanks for
Covey
watching.
suggests identifying your key roles and defining the outcomes you want in each. This approach prevents life from becoming fragmented
Enjoy
or
this no
unbalanced,
copyright
allowing you to
sound
allocate
and
time
like,
and
share,
energy
comment, and
according to
subscribe
what
our
truly
YouTube channel
matters.
for more effects.
Instead of reacting
Thanks
to
for watching.
crises or distractions, you proactively invest in the roles that define your life. It's important to note that beginning with the end in mind is
Enjoy
not
this
about
no
rigid
copyright
planning or
sound
trying to predict
and
the
like,
future
share, comment,
perfectly.
and subscribe our
Life
YouTube
is
channel for more
unpredictable,
effects.
and
Thanks for
circumstances will
watching.
change. Instead, it's about principles-based direction. Principles are like the North Star. They remain steady even
Enjoy
when the
this
weather
no
shifts.
copyright sound
When you anchor
and
your
like, share,
decisions in
comment, and
timeless
subscribe
values,
our YouTube
you
channel
can
for
navigate
more effects.
uncertainty
Thanks for
without
watching.
losing sight of your ultimate goals. Finally, this habit cultivates self-leadership. Highly effective people lead themselves before they attempt to
Enjoy
lead
this
others.
no copyright
Self-leadership
sound
requires
and like,
clarity,
share, comment, and
discipline,
subscribe
and
our YouTube channel
intentionality.
for more effects.
It's about making
Thanks for
choices
watching.
consistent with your vision, even when they're uncomfortable or counterintuitive. It's the difference between drifting aimlessly and steering deliberately,
Enjoy
between
this no
reacting to
copyright
events
sound
and shaping
and
your
like,
destiny.
share, comment,
In
and subscribe
conclusion,
our YouTube
Habit
channel
2,
for more
begin
effects.
with the end
Thanks
in
for
mind,
watching.
transforms your life from a series of random reactions into a purposeful journey. By clarifying your principles, visualizing your desired
Enjoy this no
outcomes, and
copyright
aligning
sound
actions with
and
long-term
like, share, comment,
goals,
and
you
subscribe
gain
our YouTube
direction,
channel for more
focus,
effects.
and
Thanks for
fulfillment.
watching.
Covey reminds us that life is a creative process. You can design it consciously, rather than leaving it to chance. Every highly
Enjoy
effective
this no
person
copyright
understands that the
sound
path to
and like,
meaningful
share,
achievement
comment, and
starts
subscribe
with
our
clarity
YouTube channel
of
for more
destination,
effects.
knowing
Thanks for
where you
watching.
want to go before you set sail. Chapter 3. Put first things first, prioritizing what truly matters. Have you ever felt
Enjoy
busy
this
all
no
day,
copyright
but wondered at
sound
the end
and
why
like,
so
share,
little
comment,
actually
and
got
subscribe
accomplished?
Our YouTube channel for
The
more
truth
effects.
is, being
Thanks for
busy
watching.
isn't the same as being effective. Habit 3, put first things first, is about prioritizing your time and energy around what truly matters,
Enjoy
rather
this
than
no
reacting to what
copyright
feels
sound
urgent in the
and
moment.
like, share, comment,
Stephen
and
Covey
subscribe our
emphasizes
YouTube
that
channel
highly
for more
effective
effects.
people don't
Thanks
just
for
manage
watching.
their time, they manage themselves, their choices, and their focus. To understand this habit, Covey introduces a simple yet powerful framework,
Enjoy this
the
no
time
copyright
management
sound
matrix.
and
This
like, share,
matrix
comment, and
categorizes
subscribe our
activities
YouTube
based
channel
on
for
2
more
dimensions:
effects. Thanks for
urgency
watching.
and importance. Quadrant 1 includes tasks that are both urgent and important, such as crises or pressing deadlines. Quadrant 2
Enjoy this
contains
no
activities
copyright
that are
sound
important
and
but
like,
not
share,
urgent,
comment, and
like
subscribe
planning,
our YouTube channel
relationship
for more
building,
effects.
skill
Thanks for
development,
watching.
and health. Quadrant 3 holds urgent but unimportant tasks, such as interruptions or minor requests, while Quadrant 4
Enjoy this
consists
no
of activities
copyright
that are
sound
neither urgent
and like,
nor
share,
important,
comment, and
like
subscribe
excessive
our
social
YouTube
media
channel for more
scrolling or
effects.
mindless
Thanks for
TV.
watching.
The key insight is that most people spend far too much time in Quadrants 1, 3, and 4, leaving little room for Quadrant 2,
Enjoy this
the
no
area where
copyright
true
sound
effectiveness is
and
built.
like, share, comment, and
Quadrant 2
subscribe our
activities
YouTube
require
channel for more
foresight
effects.
and discipline
Thanks for watching.
because they don't scream for immediate attention. Yet they are the foundation of long-term success, growth, and fulfillment. planning your week,
Enjoy this no
exercising,
copyright
investing
sound
in
and
relationships,
share,
and
comment,
pursuing
subscribe
meaningful
our
goals
YouTube channel
all
for more
fall
effects.
into this quadrant.
Thanks for watching.
By focusing on what is important but not urgent, you prevent crises, reduce stress, and build momentum toward your most significant
Enjoy
objectives.
this no
Putting
copyright
first things
sound
first also
and
means
share,
learning to say
comment,
no.
and subscribe
Highly
our
effective
YouTube channel
people
for more
recognize that
effects.
time
Thanks
is
for
finite,
watching.
and every yes to something unimportant is a no to something meaningful. Saying no is not selfish, it's strategic. It protects your
this no
focus, your
copyright
energy,
sound
and your ability
and
to
share,
pursue your
comment,
true
and subscribe
priorities.
our YouTube channel
This is
for
where
more
habit
effects.
3
Thanks
intersects
for
with
watching.
habit 2. Your personal mission, vision, and values guide your choices, helping you distinguish between what truly matters and what merely
Enjoy this
demands
no
attention.
copyright sound
Another essential
and
aspect
share,
of this
comment,
habit
and
is
subscribe
delegation.
our YouTube channel for
Highly
more
effective
effects.
people
Thanks for
understand
watching.
that they cannot do everything themselves. Delegation is not just about offloading tasks, it's about empowering others, focusing on your
Enjoy this
unique
no
strengths,
copyright
and
sound
ensuring that
and
important work
share,
is
comment,
done
and
effectively.
subscribe our YouTube
Covey
channel for
distinguishes
more
between
effects.
gopher
Thanks for
delegation,
watching.
simply telling someone what to do, and stewardship delegation, assigning responsibility, authority, and accountability while
Enjoy
supporting
this
growth.
no copyright
Stewardship
sound
delegation
and
creates
share, comment,
long-term
and
value
subscribe
for
our
both
YouTube
you
channel for
and the
more
people
effects.
around you.
Thanks for watching.
Proactivity plays a crucial role in putting first things first. Highly effective people schedule their priorities rather than letting others' agendas
Enjoy
control
this
them.
no
They
copyright
plan weekly
sound
and daily,
share,
blocking
comment,
time
and
for
subscribe our
high-impact
YouTube channel
activities,
for more
and they
effects.
stick to these
Thanks for
commitments
watching.
even when distractions arise. By taking control of your calendar and consciously allocating time to what matters most, you create a life
Enjoy
guided
this
by
no
purpose
copyright
instead of
sound
urgency.
and
Covey
share,
also
comment,
highlights
and
the
subscribe
importance
our
of balance.
YouTube channel for more
Focusing
effects.
on high
Thanks for
priority
watching.
areas doesn't mean neglecting other aspects of life. It's about holistic effectiveness, investing in health, relationships, personal growth, and
Enjoy
work
this no
without
copyright
overloading any
sound
single area.
and share,
The
comment,
goal
and
is sustainable
subscribe our
success,
YouTube channel
not
for
short-term
more effects.
achievement at the
Thanks
cost
for
of
watching.
long-term well-being. Perhaps the most profound insight of Habit 3 is that effectiveness is built on discipline, not motivation. Motivation
Enjoy
fluctuates.
this no copyright
Discipline
sound
sustains action
and share,
even when
comment,
energy
and
is low
subscribe our
or
YouTube
distractions
channel for
abound.
more effects.
Highly
Thanks
effective
for
people
watching.
develop routines, habits, and systems that ensure important tasks are consistently addressed. They do not wait for inspiration. They
Enjoy
create
this no
conditions for
copyright
results.
sound and
Conclusion.
share, comment,
Habit 3.
and subscribe
Put
our
first things
YouTube channel
first.
for more
Transforms
effects.
busyness
Thanks
into
for watching.
productivity, chaos into order, and intentions into outcomes. By identifying what is truly important, prioritizing Quadrant 2 activities,
Enjoy this
saying
no
no
copyright
strategically,
sound
delegating
and
wisely,
share,
and
comment,
maintaining
and subscribe
balance,
our
you
YouTube
take
channel for
control of
more
your life
effects.
in a meaningful
Thanks for
way.
watching.
Covey reminds us that time is our most precious resource, and how we invest it determines our success, fulfillment, and legacy. The question
Enjoy
is
this
not
no
how busy you are,
copyright
but
sound
whether you are
and
investing your
share,
time
comment,
in the
and
things that will
subscribe
make the
our YouTube
biggest
channel
difference.
For more effects.
Chapter
Thanks for
4.
watching.
Think win-win. Cultivating mutual success. Life is full of interactions, at work, at home, and in our communities.
Enjoy this no
Many people
copyright
approach
sound
these interactions
and
as
share,
competitions.
comment, and subscribe
If I
our
win,
YouTube channel
someone
for
else
more
loses.
effects. Thanks
If
for
I
watching.
succeed, others must fail. Habit 4. Think win-win challenges that zero-sum mindset. Stephen Covey teaches
Enjoy
that
this
highly
no
effective
copyright
people
sound
seek outcomes
and
that
share,
benefit
comment,
all
and
parties,
subscribe our
creating
YouTube channel for
relationships,
more effects.
trust, and
Thanks for
results that
watching.
are sustainable and enriching. At the heart of win-win thinking is the belief that life is abundant. There is enough success, recognition,
Enjoy
and
this
opportunity
no
for
copyright
everyone.
sound and
When you
share,
operate from
comment,
scarcity,
and subscribe
you see
our
others'
YouTube
achievements
channel for
as
more
threats
effects.
and approach
Thanks for watching.
relationships defensively. Win-win thinkers, however, see potential for collaboration. understanding that cooperation can create outcomes that
Enjoy
exceed
this
what
no
any individual
copyright
could
sound
achieve alone.
and like, share, comment
This
and
mindset
subscribe our
fosters
YouTube channel for
long-term
more
trust
effects.
and loyalty
Thanks for watching.
because people recognize that you care about their interests as much as your own. Covey outlines 6 paradigms of human interaction that
Enjoy
illustrate
this
different
no
approaches to
copyright
relationships
sound
and
like,
negotiation.
share, comment
They
and
are
subscribe our
win-win.
YouTube channel for more
Both parties
effects.
benefit.
Thanks
Solutions
for watching.
are mutually satisfying. Win-lose. One party benefits at the expense of the other. Lose-win. One party sacrifices
Enjoy
to
this
allow the
no
other to win,
copyright sound
often out of
and
fear
like, share,
or
comment
desire
and
for
subscribe
approval.
our YouTube channel for more
Lose-lose.
effects.
When parties
Thanks for
fight or
watching.
compete destructively, both end up worse off. Win. Focused solely on personal success without considering others.
Enjoy this
Win-win
no
or no deal.
copyright sound
A hybrid
and
approach
like, share,
is a
comment
true
and
win-win
subscribe
cannot
our
be
YouTube channel
achieved.
for more
The parties
effects.
agree to
Thanks
walk
for
away
watching.
respectfully. Highly effective people consistently aim for win-win, but they also know that it isn't about compromise or appeasement.
Enjoy
True
this no
win-win
copyright
requires
sound
creativity,
and like, share,
courage,
comment
and empathy.
subscribe our YouTube
It's not
channel
giving
for
in.
more effects.
It's finding
Thanks for watching.
solutions that align with both parties' core values and goals. For example, in business, it may mean negotiating a contract that is
Enjoy this
profitable
no
for both
copyright
companies.
sound and
In
like,
relationships,
share, comment and
it may
subscribe
mean
our
setting
YouTube channel
boundaries
for
while
more
honoring the
effects.
needs of the
Thanks
other
for
person.
watching.
Win-win thinking begins with character and integrity. Covey emphasizes 4 key traits that support this habit.
Enjoy this no
Integrity, staying
copyright
true to
sound
your values and
like, share,
principles,
comment
even
and
when it's
subscribe
difficult.
our YouTube channel
Maturity,
for more effects.
balancing
Thanks for
courage
watching.
with consideration, expressing your ideas honestly while respecting others. Abundance mentality, believing there is enough success and
Enjoy
opportunity
this
for
no
everyone.
copyright sound
Empathy,
and
seeking
like,
to
share,
understand
comment and
others'
subscribe our
perspectives
YouTube
and
channel
needs
for more
before
effects.
asserting your
Thanks for
own.
watching.
Developing a win-win mindset also requires effective communication. Covey links Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be
Enjoy this
understood,
no
directly
copyright
to this
sound
habit.
and like,
You
share,
cannot
comment
create
and
mutual
subscribe our
solutions without
YouTube channel
truly
for more
understanding
effects.
the other
Thanks for
person's
watching.
needs and concerns. Listening actively and empathetically opens the door to collaboration, rather than defensiveness or conflict.
Enjoy this
Another
no
practical
copyright
element of
sound
win-win is the
and like,
ability
share,
to
comment
separate
and
people
subscribe
from
our
the
YouTube
problem.
channel for
Highly
more
effective
effects.
individuals
Thanks for
focus on
watching.
issues and interests rather than attacking personalities. By framing disagreements around objectives and values instead of emotions or blame,
Enjoy this no
solutions become
copyright
more
sound
collaborative and
and
less
like, share,
adversarial.
comment and subscribe
This
our YouTube
approach
channel for
strengthens
more
relationships
effects. Thanks
while
for
producing
watching.
meaningful results. Covey also stresses the importance of long-term thinking. Win-win is not about immediate gratification
Enjoy
or
this
one-off
no
victories.
copyright sound
It's about
and
cultivating
like, share,
trust,
comment and
respect,
subscribe
and
our
ongoing
YouTube channel for
collaboration.
more effects.
When people
Thanks
know
for
you
watching.
consistently operate from win-win principles, they are more likely to reciprocate, creating a positive cycle of cooperation and shared success.
Enjoy this
In practice,
no copyright
think
sound
win-win
and
requires
like, share,
effort
comment
and
subscribe
discipline.
our YouTube
It
channel
challenges
for more
ego,
effects.
impatience,
Thanks for watching.
and the instinct to compete destructively. But the payoff is immense. Stronger relationships, better outcomes, and a reputation as someone
Enjoy
who
this
values
no
both
copyright
principles
sound
and people.
and like,
It
share,
transforms
comment and
conflict
subscribe
into
our
opportunity
YouTube channel for
and
more
negotiation
effects.
into
Thanks
partnership.
for watching.
In conclusion, Habit 4, think win-win, is a mindset and strategy that changes how you interact with the world. By cultivating an
Enjoy
abundance
this
mentality,
no copyright
acting with
sound
integrity and
like, share,
maturity,
comment and subscribe
empathizing
our
deeply,
YouTube channel
and
for more
focusing on
effects.
mutually
Thanks for
beneficial
watching.
solutions, you create environments where collaboration thrives. Covey reminds us that life is not a competition. It's a
Enjoy
series
this
of
no
relationships
copyright
and
sound
interactions.
and like, share,
When you
comment
aim for
and
win-win,
subscribe our YouTube
everyone,
channel for more
including
effects.
yourself,
Thanks for
wins.
watching.
Chapter 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. The art of empathetic communication. Communication is the lifeblood of all relationships, personal, professional, and social. Yet most people communicate poorly because they listen to respond, not to understand. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood, is about reversing that instinct. Stephen Covey emphasizes that highly effective people prioritize empathetic listening before expressing their own perspective, creating a foundation for trust, clarity, and influence. At its core, this habit is rooted in empathy, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and truly grasp their thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Covey explains that people naturally resist advice or solutions unless they feel understood. When you listen first, you validate the other person's experience, reduce defensiveness, and open the door to meaningful dialogue. Listening becomes more than a skill. It becomes a form of respect and leadership. Covey identifies 4 levels of listening: ignoring, pretending to listen while thinking about something else; pretend listening, nodding or making small comments, but not truly engaging; selective listening, hearing only what supports your viewpoint; empathic listening, fully focusing on the speaker, understanding their words, emotions, and intent. Empathic listening requires discipline and practice. It involves giving undivided attention, observing nonverbal cues, asking clarifying questions, and withholding judgment. Highly effective people listen with the intent to understand, not to reply. Only after understanding can you respond in a way that addresses both the content and the emotion behind the message. This habit also highlights the importance of trust. When people feel genuinely understood, they become more open, cooperative, and receptive to influence. Empathic listening demonstrates that you value the other person as much as the situation at hand. Over time, this builds strong relationships, strengthens teams, and fosters collaboration in every area of life. Covey emphasizes that seeking to understand first is not about being passive or submissive. It is about strategic engagement. By listening first, you gain insights that allow your responses to be more accurate, relevant, and persuasive. Whether negotiating a contract, resolving a conflict, or simply interacting with a friend or family member, understanding the other person fully ensures your message lands effectively. Another key aspect of this habit is the interplay between understanding and influence. Once you have genuinely understood someone, you can be understood yourself. Covey stresses that effective communication is a two-way street. You cannot achieve meaningful influence without first establishing understanding. This is a principle that applies not only to individuals, but also to teams, organizations, and communities. Leaders who master this habit create environments where collaboration thrives, decisions are smarter, and conflicts are minimized. Covey also warns against common barriers to understanding. These include interrupting, judging prematurely, assuming intentions, or focusing on your own response while the other person speaks. Each barrier erodes trust and prevents effective communication. The antidote is patience, curiosity, and humility. Recognizing that every person has a perspective shaped by experiences and values that deserve attention. Empathic listening also strengthens emotional intelligence. By attuning to others' feelings and perspectives, you become more adaptable, empathetic, and socially aware. These skills are invaluable in both personal and professional contexts. Highly effective people understand that relationships are the currency of success, and listening is the investment that multiplies that currency. Finally, this habit transforms conflict into opportunity. Many disputes arise from miscommunication, assumptions, or lack of understanding. By seeking first to understand, you clarify intentions, uncover root issues, and create a space for creative solutions. Combined with habit 4, think win-win. This approach allows disagreements to become collaborative problem-solving sessions rather than battles. In conclusion, habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood, is the cornerstone of effective communication and meaningful relationships. By practicing empathic listening, valuing others' perspectives, and responding thoughtfully, you build trust, influence, and collaboration. Covey reminds us that influence is earned, not demanded, and the first step to earning it is understanding. When you make the effort to truly hear others, you create connections that are stronger, solutions that are smarter, and a life that is richer in both relationships and results. Chapter 6: Synergize, the power of collaborative creativity. No one achieves greatness alone. Even the most talented individuals rely on others at some point. Habit 6, Synergize, is about harnessing the combined strengths of people through collaboration, creativity, and teamwork to achieve results far beyond what any individual could accomplish alone. Stephen Covey teaches that true synergy is not compromise or consensus. It is the creation of a new, better solution, something greater than the sum of its parts. At its core, synergy begins with valuing differences. Covey emphasizes that differences are not obstacles, they are opportunities. Each person brings unique perspectives, experiences, and skills to the table. By embracing diversity rather than resisting it, highly effective people unlock creativity and innovation that would be impossible in a homogeneous environment. Synergy thrives on open communication, trust, and respect for the contributions of others. To understand synergy, imagine a musical orchestra. Each instrument is excellent individually, but the magic happens when all the instruments play together under a skilled conductor, producing music that none could create alone. Similarly, in teams, relationships, and communities, combining strengths allows for solutions that are not only functional, but exceptional. Synergy requires the right mindset. Covey distinguishes between 3 approaches to problem solving. My way, win-lose, insisting on your own solution at the expense of others. Your way, lose-win, yielding to others to avoid conflict or gain approval. Our way, win-win, creative collaboration, integrating the best ideas from all parties to create a superior solution. The first 2 approaches limit potential, while the third embodies synergy. Highly effective people actively seek our way by encouraging input, listening deeply, and fostering an environment where all voices are valued. This requires humility, patience, and a willingness to step beyond ego or personal agendas. Covey also highlights that synergy cannot exist without trust. Trust enables open dialogue, risk-taking, and experimentation without fear of criticism. Teams that cultivate trust are able to share ideas freely, challenge assumptions, and explore creative solutions together. Conversely, environments lacking trust breed defensiveness, secrecy, and missed opportunities. Practical examples of synergy are everywhere. In business, it's seen in collaborative projects where cross-functional teams combine their expertise to solve complex problems. In personal life, it appears when family members contribute their unique strengths to overcome challenges. Even in social or community contexts, synergy emerges when people unite toward a shared vision, combining skills, resources, and energy to produce extraordinary outcomes. Synergy also relies on the prior habits, especially Habit 4, think win-win, and Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Without a mindset of mutual benefit and empathetic listening, collaboration can devolve into compromise, conflict, or stagnation. Win-win thinking establishes shared goals, while understanding others' perspectives ensures that solutions respect everyone's needs. Together, these habits create fertile ground for true synergy to flourish. Another critical aspect of synergy is creativity. When individuals collaborate openly, they generate ideas that would never arise in isolation. Covey calls this the third alternative, a solution that transcends any initial proposal. Creativity emerges not by forcing agreement, but by valuing differences, exploring possibilities, and combining strengths in new ways. This approach often leads to breakthroughs in business, science, art, and relationships. Finally, synergy transforms relationships. It shifts interactions from transactional or competitive to generative and empowering. When people feel valued and heard, they invest more of themselves in the process, producing higher levels of engagement, loyalty, and satisfaction. Synergy turns teams into communities and challenges into opportunities for collective achievement. Conclusion. Habit 6, Synergize, is about leveraging the power of collaboration to create extraordinary outcomes. By valuing differences, fostering trust, practicing empathy, and seeking creative solutions that integrate multiple perspectives, highly effective people achieve results that surpass what any individual could accomplish alone. Covey reminds us that life is inherently interdependent, and those who master synergy unlock not only greater results, but also richer relationships, stronger teams, and a more meaningful impact on the world. Chapter 7. Sharpen the saw, renewing yourself for lasting effectiveness. Imagine trying to saw down a tree with a dull blade. No matter how hard you push, progress is slow, exhausting, and frustrating. Habit 7, Sharpen the saw, is about maintaining and renewing your personal blade so you can perform at your best, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Stephen Covey emphasizes that continuous self-renewal is the key to sustained effectiveness in all areas of life. Highly effective people understand that success is not only about skill, knowledge, or effort. It's also about energy and well-being. Neglecting self-renewal leads to burnout, mistakes, and diminishing returns. Sharpening the saw ensures that you remain capable, resilient, and creative, even in the face of challenges. Covey divides renewal into 4 interdependent dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. 1. Physical renewal. Your body is the foundation of all activity. Physical renewal includes exercise, nutrition, sleep, and rest. Covey stresses that investing in physical health improves energy, focus, and resilience. A well-maintained body allows you to pursue goals with vigor, respond effectively to stress, and sustain long-term productivity. Exercise and proper nutrition are not optional. They are fundamental tools for effectiveness. 2. Mental renewal. Continuous learning, critical thinking, and mental challenge are essential for growth. Mental renewal includes reading, studying, attending workshops, solving problems, and engaging in creative activities. Highly effective people never stop learning. They feed their minds with new ideas, perspectives, and skills. This ongoing development sharpens judgment, expands capability, and enhances problem-solving ability. 3. Emotional and social renewal. Relationships are central to a meaningful life. Emotional renewal involves connecting with others, building trust, expressing gratitude, and managing stress constructively. Social renewal emphasizes healthy, supportive interactions with family, friends, colleagues, and community. Highly effective people invest in nurturing relationships, resolving conflicts, and fostering collaboration, which in turn strengthens resilience, happiness, and relationships, and influence. 4. Spiritual renewal. Spiritual renewal is about connecting with purpose, values, and principles. It doesn't have to be religious. It can be meditation, reflection, prayer, or immersion in nature and art. This dimension gives life meaning, aligns decisions with principles, and fosters inner strength. When you renew spiritually, you cultivate a center of stability that guides all actions and choices, even in turbulent circumstances. Covey emphasizes that these 4 dimensions are interdependent. Neglecting one affects the others. For example, chronic physical neglect can undermine mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual focus. Similarly, unresolved emotional tension can disrupt mental functioning, physical health, and spiritual well-being. By attending to all 4 areas regularly, highly effective people maintain balance, energy, and long-term productivity. Sharpening the saw is not a one-time activity. It is a lifestyle. Covey recommends establishing routines that incorporate renewal into daily, weekly, and yearly patterns. Even small, consistent actions, like a 20-minute walk, reading a chapter of a book, a heartfelt conversation, or quiet reflection, compound over time to produce remarkable benefits. This habit also reinforces all the previous 6 habits. A proactive mindset, clear vision, disciplined prioritization, win-win relationships, empathetic communication, and synergistic collaboration all require energy, clarity, and resilience. Without renewal, these habits erode. With renewal, they flourish. Sharpening the saw amplifies your effectiveness, creativity, and satisfaction in every area of life. Conclusion. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw is the habit of self-care and continuous improvement. Highly effective people understand that personal growth and renewal are not luxuries. They are necessities. By investing in your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, you maintain the strength, focus, and balance needed to achieve lasting success. Covey reminds us that the ultimate key to effectiveness is sustainability. A sharp saw cuts effortlessly, while a dull one struggles, no matter how hard you push. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, and sharpening the saw ensures that you stay resilient, capable, and fulfilled every step of the way. And there you have it, the 7 habits that can completely transform the way you live, work, and relate to others. From taking full responsibility for your life, to building meaningful relationships, to continuously renewing yourself. These habits aren't just tips, they're a blueprint for lasting success and fulfillment. The real question now is, which habit will you start applying today? Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your life transform. If you found this summary helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insights that can change the way you think and live. And don't forget, your most effective self is waiting for you to take action.